Welcome to Trump Republican News. This is Jack Easum speaking. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about immigration and what's going on with President Trump, all of this derogatory talk that's been going on. So the first thing I did, I went to Trump Republican News, the website. That's Trump Republican News. It's a website. It's a new website. And right under the heading of Trump Republican News is something called President Trump's Tweets. And it goes directly to his Twitter page. And let's take a look. What has happened recently, the president was working on immigration. And he decided to have a bipartisan approach to it with various senators from the Democrats and the Republicans both. So he held a number of meetings. He said, okay, come back with a good proposal after the meeting. And a few days later, they came back with a proposal that was just not anywhere near being acceptable to the president. Far, far cry from what had been discussed. But even more interesting, as he had met with them and gone over things, he got into really some truth-telling. And there are two different accounts of what has occurred. A guy named Dick Durbin, who's a senator out of Illinois, held a press conference accusing President Trump of saying some profanity regarding other countries, Haiti, El Salvador, and some African countries, that they were, well, let's call it a toilet, to be polite, saying they're toilet. Okay, so anyway, allegedly, Dick Durbin says he used a really bad word, which CNN, of course, picked up on and used it over 36 times in a 24-hour newscast period. But did that really happen? Durbin is anti-Trump to an unbelievable degree. And so yesterday, I guess it was, two U.S. senators that were also at the meeting, they told their side of it with the president. And they said, basically, that's not the language. They don't remember it. And that's Republican Senator David Perdue and Senator Tom Cotton. They were in the room when Trump allegedly referred to Haiti as a toilet. And emphatically claimed that they do not recall the president making that comment. And President Trump brought everyone to the table that week and listened to both sides. But regrettably, it seems that not everyone is committed to negotiating in good faith. Wow, something new and different in Washington, D.C. Okay, so we got this one guy, Dick Durbin, out of Illinois, a Democrat, attacking Trump. And then two Republican senators saying that's not what they recall. So let's go to the source. I went to, again, Trump Republican News website. And I clicked on the Twitter to get to his Twitter page. And let's see what they're saying. And Donald Trump about, I guess it was yesterday, said, because of the Democrats not being interested in life and safety, DACA has now taken a big step backwards. And that's the so-called Dreamers. I don't even like that name, but it's DACA. The Dems will threaten shutdown, but what they are really doing is shutting down our military at a time when we need it most. Get smart, make America great again. That's his Trump tweet. Okay, then he said, the language used by me at the DACA meeting was tough, but this was not the language used. What was really tough was the outlandish proposal made, a big setback for DACA. You know, this whole immigration thing has so many tentacles to it. There's so many areas to it. But Trump is sitting here defending himself against derogatory comments. Another tweet he put out, never said anything derogatory about Haitians other than Haiti is obviously a very poor and troubled country, which is very, very true. He never said take them out. That was all made up by Democrats. I have a wonderful relationship with Haitians, probably should record future meetings. Unfortunately, no trust. Well, that was, you know, a couple days ago. And then it's just really sad. There's no movement on the Democrats to move forward the immigration program. And Donald Trump tweeted about 5 hours ago, "I don't believe the Democrats really want to see a deal on DACA. They are all talk and no action. This is the time, but day by day they're blowing this one great opportunity that they have. Too bad." Well, that's directly from President Trump. And that's all you have to do to understand where, his position is on this thing. Well, let's get back to the whole thing of what was said, supposedly, and all of that. In the mix of that conversation with the Democrats and Republicans, the president did make some very tough statements. And Haiti, I'm going to specifically address Haiti, is a very, very poor country. It's had so many disasters, and the population there as of 2016 was 10,850,000 people. And if we talk about Haiti, but most people haven't gone there because it's kind of like it's described. It's a bit of a bad, very poor, no infrastructure, a toilet, so to speak. And it's on an island called Hispaniola. Well, most of us, if we slept through that geography class, don't remember much. But in 1492, Christopher Columbus, sailed the ocean blue, and he came across, and he did land on a number of islands, and one of the islands was Hispaniola, as it was called. And now Hispaniola is divided into two nations. On the east side, or I should say, I'm sorry, the west side is Haiti, and on the east side is the Dominican Republic. And it's divided landmass. So there are two independent nations. Haiti is incredibly poor. It's, this goes back to the Baby Doc Chevalier and all of that kind of stuff. We're looting the treasury and things like that. And more recently, they had some devastating hurricanes and things like that the Clinton Foundation stepped in and apparently raised somewhere between $30 to $300 million for the Haitians, and none of the money seemed to flow through or down to them. I think the DOJ is actually doing an investigation into the Clinton Foundation regarding that. So the Haitians, once again, if this is true, they were ripped off. Something fierce. Something fierce. And it's sad. But who do you pick on? Poor people, right? They don't know how to fight back. They can't fight back. Well, there are a number of Haitians that have immigrated to the United States. From what I can see, many of them are hardworking people that want to just improve their lives and that kind of thing. But there are about 70% of those that have come in recent years. 70% are on some form of welfare. So we're taxpayers picking up the tab on that, and it might be that they have good reason for it, but 70%, just a fact. And as President Trump was describing what was going on in Haiti, well, I think he was describing a fact. What do we want in America in terms of immigration? Do we want people that will advance America, or do we want people that are just going to go on welfare or, just not really add to the equation in terms of improving us? And I think that's what part of this immigration issue is about. Other than potty mouth, and talking about the complications of all of this, when this whole thing about the derogatory comment hit the fan, so to speak, it was kind of an interesting response. The New York Times reported out of London that the Czech president has called Muslim immigrants criminals. The head of Poland's governing party said refugees are riddled with disease, and the leader of Hungary has described migrants as poison. Well, this week, Austria's new far-right interior minister suggested concentrating migrants in asylum centers. But, that being the case, that's how migrants, immigration issues in parts of Europe are being viewed by their leaders. So when President Trump said he didn't want immigrants from, toilet countries, there was ringing silence across broad parts of the European Union, especially in the East, and certainly no chorus of condemnation. In other words, they know the truth as well, and they're expressing it. So, the immigration issues that we face, there are going to be more shows on this because it's so complicated. But I wanted to end with this story so you get the idea of it. The DACA people and just immigration as a whole is a huge issue here in America. And we know that. 62 million people voted for Donald Trump because he was going to build a wall and fix immigration. Well, I learned not too long ago that there are tentacles and things are so interrelated on immigration. Let me describe to you one of the situations, just so you understand it. As you know, President Trump and the DOJ, Jeff Sessions, have been going after pedophile rings. And it's been a massive effort, and there have been thousands of arrests that have been taking place. And that's something most of us out here, and certainly the people listening, don't even want to give a thought to, because it's kind of negative and really kind of nasty. But I was listening to the Hagman and Hagman report a while back, and there was a doctor on it, a woman, and she had been recruited by naval intelligence when she was very young because she had a gift for language and translating, and she could speak like 5 or 6 various languages, anything from Arabic to, French, Latin, that kind of thing. So she dealt with a lot of immigrants as they were coming in to interview them through naval intelligence to make sure they weren't terrorists or what have you. Well, she went to work eventually with the State Department doing some of these kinds of things. And what she discovered is horrendous. What she discovered is the immigration of young children, undocumented, illegal immigration, that are being brought into the United States are related to the pedophile ring. And here's how it works. Young kids are brought into the United States as part of the immigration. They land in the U.S. Say there are 50 kids on the flight. 30 of the kids will get siphoned off, and they're never heard from again. Now, who's going to complain about that? No one, because no one knows, right? Now, where did those kids go? Well, this lady, as she had the information at her fingertips in the government, she knew where they went, and they all got taken into what we would call the pedophile rings. And so she wrote a report to her boss on what she had figured out on, immigration and kids and stuff like that. And she gave her report on a Friday, and he said, "You figured this out all by yourself, huh?" Yeah, sure, I certainly did. Well, he said, "Thank you very much," and okay. So Monday she comes to the office, and she's greeted by a security guard, and everything in the office is already boxed up, and he escorts her off the property. And they wanted her to sign a non-disclosure agreement. She had some limitations anyway because of what she was dealing with in terms of security clearance. But she was gone, terminated. And so she started to reevaluate and understood how deep this goes. See, it's not just immigrating, to the United States. Why are they immigrating into the United States? Well, why can't this problem be fixed? Because there are vested interests that very evil people have to bring in these people. And so, you hear everything from changing the demographics for voting and all these other reasons. But it's so interrelated with every single criminal activity that you could think of. Anything from pedophile stuff to, child sex trafficking, those kinds of things. That you have to get to the truth. And I believe that President Donald Trump will eventually get to the truth. And I just think he's doing a great job. But see how complicated these things are? It's never as simple as you think. And Jeff Sessions, as Attorney General, has his work cut out for him. Okay, that's it for now. And as President Trump says, keep moving forward. Never, ever give up.